Thank you, Olive. We have actually gone out of the norm. We were keeping tabs on the numbers in relation to the tallying that is happening in the 12 constituencies of Kakamega County, but we have gone out of the norm to just catch up with what you have mentioned. The first member of National Assembly living with albinism, that is Martin Wanyonyi Pepela. He has been nominated MCA. Then he was elected the MCA for Ndivisi, and now the Member of Parliament for Webuye East. And I'm now glad to be joined by him. Mheshimiwa, congratulations, first of all. How do you feel?
No, I'm very much excited. I'm humbled that whatever will be said in this election in the days and months to come, one thing that will remain a fact is that this election has been able to produce the first person with albinism to be elected through the universal suffrage in the Republic of Kenya.
Thank you so much. Now that you are the first member of Parliament elected as albino, Olive, it's also clear to note that we have actually crossed. We are just almost on the border of Kakamega and Bungoma, but here where we are standing, it's Bungoma. So it's also important to note that as we continue with our interview. And now, Mheshimiwa, now, how has been your journey? Maybe because Kenyans are amazed and want to know. We want to know that young boy, that albino. Because those days, an albino guy, when we grew up, we were told, ukiona huyo, hiyo ni pesa huko Tanzania. How did you cope up with that?
Asante, Kwanza, I think we need to correct one fact, is that we don't have an albino. That's derogatory. We have a person living with albinism. That's a human right term. So I think moving forward, it's important that when making that reference to me, it should be a person living with albinism. But I think of importance, it has not been easy. It has been difficult. It has been a long journey. Because you remember a long time, years back, people with albinism in this country were treated as people who are different, people who are nobody, people who are a curse, people who are not supposed to live and mingle with the rest of the community. But I'm happy that that long journey, we've been able to break this history. That 2013 I was nominated as an MCA, which was not really easy. It was extraordinary. 2017 again, we went into election. You remember that time, I tried to join political parties to seek for the nomination certificates, and almost all these parties refused to nominate me, to give me a certificate, because they thought I cannot be able to win. I cannot be able to deliver the seat to them. And I decided to go as an independent candidate. You remember that time, and my own slogan ilikuwa tu kwamba sasa wewe ukienda kwa ballot, don't usitafute jina, usitafute nembo yangu, wait after tusura. And it really worked, and I was elected that time as an MCA. I've gone there for 5 years again, and I'm happy that the people of Webuye East have been able to bestow me with the opportunity of being their second member of Parliament, and more so, to write this is history, the first person that has been being elected in the Republic of Kenya.
You are taking over from a member of Parliament, that is Alfred Sambu, who has served this constituency for long. Maybe what are part of your strategies to make sure that you fit in his footsteps perfectly?
I want to thank Mheshimiwa Sambu for the service that he has rendered to us for the last 15 years and so, for the rich legacy he has been able to build for the people of Webuye East and beyond in this country. Remember, before he was elected, he served this country in so many capacities. So really, I'm aware and that I'm inheriting from a person with a very rich legacy and history. Being an MCA for 10 years, I think for me, it has been able to prepare me enough to give me the necessary experience, the necessary competence to be able to take off from succeeding Mheshimiwa Sam. One thing I want to promise him is that I'm ready, I'm competent, I'm determined, I'm committed to ensure that we build on the rich legacy he has been able to build for the last 15 years for the people of Webuye East. And right from the infrastructure, building of our schools, ensuring that every child who wants to go to school is in school, who is living a constituency without any college. You want to ensure within our first year or so also to start the journey of having and building the first college or technical training institute within our fold, within our province. Thirdly, healthcare is still a problem within our constituency. We want to ensure to partner up with the county government and have the first sub-county hostel. I've been struggling to build a Sinoko sub-county hostel, which I think it's somehow to the level that we can call it a sub-county, but we are not yet there. I want to work so hard to ensure that we have a fully fledged sub-county hostel. And more fundamental, I ran against my colleagues. They were able to also garner some votes. I want to bring them on board, because I know they also have ideas, they also had an agenda, they also had a manifesto. I want to ensure that we bring all of them together to share in what they thought this sub-county can be, in what they wanted to do, so that at least if we can be able to merge all these agenda, all these manifestos, we can be able to together take this constituency to the next level.
Thank you. Maybe before I let you go, I didn't actually get clearly that the challenges you went through as you grew up, and maybe what will be your message to people living with these conditions across the world?
Of course, we had so many challenges, being different right from when I was young in school. First, remember I joined Lukusi Primary School, and I was unable to concentrate. I was unable to take my studies because I could not be able to read the books because of my poor eyesight. My colleagues, students or pupils who were unable to even understand who I am. In fact, the worst bit was even teachers themselves could not really understand who is this person and address my challenges. So it was a bit difficult when I was young. We used to be called names, Omusungu, Omutonda, and all that. And that one, what we saw when we were young is what, for me, inspired me. I remember when I was in primary school, we used to, that time where it was during the Moise regime, we used to follow keenly how the opposition used to handle the government that time. My good friend, my inspiration, the current governor-elect of Siaya, James Orengo. That time, you know, Moi used to arrest him in the morning, he's freed in the evening. So we used to ask ourselves, how comes Moi is so powerful, but Orengo is able to stand up, defend the people, stand for the rights of the people, and yet is free, and yet Moi is unable to really control him. So that time we realized what is helping Orengo is his mastery of the law, his mastery of the Kenyan politics. So that time, at my young age, I built this inspiration, and I was motivated to be in politics. You remember Kwame Nkrumah one time said that first seek the political kingdom, and everything else will be done unto you. So that at my younger age, I was inspired and motivated to join the politics. And I thought if I join the politics, I'll be able now to address and protect myself from the majority who are unable to understand me, who are calling me names. So we started politics that time, debating in school, in primary school, in high school, and I think primary school, secondary school prepared me in terms of debating skills, in terms of appreciation of what politics and how politics can be able to help somebody. So I think really after campus, I joined my friend Mwaura. We formed an organization to fight and protect the interests of people with albinism in this country. 2008, we did a petition with my friend Waziri Eugene Wamalwa, which we took to Parliament to seek Parliament and by extension government to allocate money to support the delivery of services to people with albinism. So now,
my last question that I ask, maybe just in a minute, what are your message to those people living with this condition across the world?
I think I want to say this, my friend, that one, we've been able to write history. It has not been easy, it has been difficult, but history has been written, not only in Kenya, but across the world. I just want to tell my people living with albinism that it is possible, as long as you are walking the right path and you continue walking that path, you can get where you want to be. I think Kenya and Webuye East have demonstrated that it's not so much about who you are and how different you are you, but what's so much important is the agenda that you are selling to your people. And I think really this election we've been able, what helped me so much was about how different I am, but what agenda I was selling, and I was making, I was connecting with the people of Kenya. So I think it is possible, it's doable, it's workable, and I want to say, when I sum up, that I think Martin Pepelo Wanyonyi, aka Investor, is a demonstration how bottom-up approach can work in this country. I was nominated. I was nominated. Now elected as that time elected as an MC. Now elected as a member of parliament. And I think there's no other way you can describe bottom approach rather than really referring to Martin Pepelo Wanyonyi.
That is it. He's also known as Mzungu wa Bungoma. I wrap up. It was a pleasure talking to him from Bungoma. My name is Zacchaeus Masame. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much for bringing us that update. And Zacchaeus Masame there set me straight, told me that he may have been covering Kakamega, but he was coming to us now from Webuye East in Bungoma County. And he was speaking to Martin Wanyonyi, who was elected on Pepela.
Martin Wanyonyi Pepela. There's a way Zacchaeus Masame said it. I didn't even, it was so fast, I couldn't even get the name correct.
Yes, who has been elected member of the National Assembly, Webuye East. And yes, he tells us he is the first person living with albinism elected to the National Assembly.
Well, we also have Bridget Ngana, who's been covering Nakuru for us. Bridget, what's